Hello folks, watch this video, and here I'm going to be talking about F1, I'm going to be talking about the preseason, I'm going to be talking about car launches. Because, well, at the other end of this week, we ended up getting our first car launch of the season, as Haas unveiled the VF-20 to the new firm, the race. And now this is quite interesting, and it's partially because of the publication of the race, but it's also because it wasn't anything that had like a big fanfare or any kind of big release to it. It was just the kind of, this is what we've got, let's have a look at it. And what I'm going to do is compare a couple side-by-side images I've put together. Some of them don't really overlap properly because of changes to, say, the wheelbase of the car. But what I thought is, by putting these on here, we can look at the VF-19 and the VF-20 and compare the car that had a whole massive launch because of the sponsorship deal that, well, happened. I think that's probably the best way of talking about it now. I have a whole video on it which I can put in the description below for you. And the new car that has a livery that harkens back to what they had when they first started out in Formula 1. Now, if we have a look at a top-down view, you can see a few differences between the VF-19 and the VF-20. Not just in terms of the wheelbase, I guess. Because you can see that, for example, some bits don't necessarily line up the same on the new car. One of the things I noticed was the fact that the actual kind of floor, it's got a bit squarer, a bit more rounded off for this season, based off of these renderings. And in addition to that, the front wing has been a lot more simplified. The one that's on the VF-19, or was on the releases for the VF-19, was very similar to the kind of things we were seeing from teams like, for example, Mercedes. Whereas the one that they've got on the rendering for the VF-20 is very similar to what the other Ferrari teams, so Alfa and Ferrari, were running last season. The kind of more simple front wing aero. That could potentially help Haas out. I mean, they had problems with tyre heating, which plagued them for the vast majority of last season. So this could be the thing that fixes that issue for them. However, a couple of other bits of note that I would say particularly stood out, and this is what happens when you compare the side-on views. And the first thing is a more pronounced rake. So essentially how the bottom of the car is a lot lower to the ground towards the front compared to at the rear of it. The renderings for the VF-19 didn't really have a particularly pronounced rake, but this is something that has grown in recent years with the current set of regulations in F1 cars. Red Bull have been the ones that tend to have the more extreme ones. And Haas seem to have gotten a bit more extreme with this season. Don't know if that's something that they've gone, this is the direction, and this is what we're going to take, or whether it's something where they've gone, actually, let's try and throw people off, because of course these are renderings, these aren't necessarily what we're going to see in Australia, but I'd be quite fascinated. Another thing is the barge board seems a bit more kind of squared off as well, compared to the VF-19. But at the same time, some things do stay the same. So, for example, the way in which they have the American flag on there. Though it appears now that, I don't know if it's because we've got different sides here, but it appears now that it's got the flag facing a more traditional American flag way. But like I said, we've only got the rendering from this image from the front of the car on the left hand side, whereas in the old car it's the front of the car on the right hand side. So it could be because I can't remember what the American tradition is right now, then that's still the same. Because the idea is it's very similar to US military things where you have the flag facing the front. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of these cars or unveilings that are going to be happening over the next week as we get closer and closer to pre-season testing. I will be spreading these videos out, of course, because I've got WRC coverage to look at, and because I'm going to be having a very busy next couple of weeks. So what we're going to be doing is recording them as they happen and then kind of spreading them all out. Because, well, so many of the reveals are happening on the same day. Especially in this next week. I think we've got a couple that are actually falling on my birthday, which is fun. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button, and if you want to have any more discussion, do that in the comments down below. If you want to see any of my other videos, you can check them out in the description or on the channel, and if you want to stay in the loop about any future uploads, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. You'll be notified of any streams and any uploads, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.